We have an hour, so we'll see if I can write a Solidity contract in an hour. Basically, this will be an example of a manager shaman, a shaman that is minting or burning loot in the DAO. So it's a separate contract, right? And the DAO whitelists it and allows it to do something. Trying to think of something that was really easy, that might be easy. It was this kind of daily claim. So like a drip. And so it's like every day you can come to the DAO's webpage and press a button and it'll say, here you go. And then it'll say you can claim again in 24 hours or something like that. There's probably, or there is a million reasons why this is not great, mainly because of civil stuff. But for us, I think it'll be fine. And we'll see if I can write this out by the end. Usually I'll do this in Remix or something because then I can just deploy. But I figured I would try Hard Hat today. We'll see how it goes. And now I'm trying to and if anyone remembers when or sees me writing something stupid or has a question, just go ahead and call out because I'm along. And I'm trying to remember even what the Hard Hat command is in it. Oh, let me get into another. Can you guys even see this little text here, or is that too small? Okay. It's really hard for me to think about typing right now after that amazing talk. Okay.
Are you recording
Did anyone
this
else enjoy that? What's that?
Are you recording this right now at all?
I think so. UI, are we still streaming? I better be careful not to show any keys. I was thinking about trying to deploy it on Hardhat too, but maybe we'll do that. We'll see how far we get. Is it Hardhat init?
Yeah, it should be. By the way, just while we wait, is it still all on your cute little Chromebook?
Yep, it's my little guy.
Mad respect, die hard.
I have a Linux container on here. And it's a little slow, so that's one of the problems we might run into today. All right. TypeScript, JavaScript, doesn't necessarily matter. We're not going to be writing a ton of tests and tasks and things like that, although we could get into it a little bit. So let's just stick with JavaScript. So anyone who hasn't used Hardhat, I kind of wanted to do it through this whole way, just as kind of just a Solidity walkthrough. I think a lot of you guys have probably played with Solidity a little bit, and maybe in Remix, but the Hardhat is the local development kind of tools, and it does a lot of nice things like we'll compile your contracts and it can run up a little local blockchain for you and do all the things. And so basically, like if you have Hardhat installed, it allows you to create this kind of example kind of setup for building contracts. It's really nice for doing tests, although if you don't like JavaScript, you should probably use something like Forge or something else where you can write your tests in Solidity, which are actually much faster, I guess, but I haven't played with it too much. I like JavaScript. I'm one of those weirdos. So it's fine with me. Although it is so slow. And so that is one place, especially on my little Chromebook. So yeah, I didn't think that this install was going to take this long even, and we're burning a lot of time. Let's see how it goes. We're going through and installing all the stuff. But yeah, so the shamans have a pretty simple interface. There's basically in the governance contract, the ball, there's these roles, the manager, admin, and governor roles. And then the DAO can whitelist certain contracts or can whitelist an external contract to have that role. And those roles can give them powers to do different things. Okay, I'm going to open up my VS Code now and just see what we got. Did we end up? Yeah, we got everything inside this folder. And sometimes it gives me a little like, okay, lock.sol. So I can, hard hat when you start up a new project gives you a little like sample contract to work with. So that's nice. I can stick with some of these things. We're going to use 8.9, so pretty new. This is probably what Hard Hat is saying like is the most latest stable kind of release of Solidity. So we set that up here at the top. And and it has even, so this is one of the cool things about Hard Hat too, is you can log out stuff from your Solidity code. And that's really helpful when you have problems. But here's our I'm just going to blow away all of this. And we always like to have a constructor, so I'll keep that. Probably doesn't need to be payable. And we can add some parameters later. We won't have a withdraw function, but we'll probably have like a claim function, right? So we'll start with that, and let's rename the contract to example manager Shaman. So we got kind of like a basic skeleton here for our contract. We're using Pragma 8.9. And there's no license or anything because we don't really care about that for this. But what I will usually do here is kind of pseudo code out some of what I'm thinking is going to be needed. And so basically what we want to have is a function that allows to claim some shares in the DAO by pressing a button. So it's not going to go through a proposal. It's not going to do anything else. Basically, you hit a button with an account, probably, so that would be message sender, and it issues some shares to it. And so the interface to the Shaman is going to be that that kind of minting of shares. Speaking of interfaces, we're going to need a interface to ball. And so let me just grab one that I have in a different screen and we'll add that. So here's our interface. This is basically because we're going to be interacting with the ball contract. This isn't the full interface, but it's the things that we might need and actually more than what we would need. But it's a good start for us. If you're defining an interface in Solidity, all you need to do, you're just like, just the functions you're going to be using. You don't need to like do everything, but you can have more or less. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's not going to work if it's not actually right. So here's a basic interface, a bunch of external calls that we might use. So let's think about in our claim function. We're going to want to like get the amount, some amount of shares. Then we're going to want to like mint that amount. We probably want to store it somewhere so that we can check that they haven't claimed it within a day, which actually that's a good, we need to do a check up here require that they haven't this is going to be like calculate. So we want to store a claim for a day or a period. We don't have to do it for a day. And then probably emit an event. So now we know what we want to do. We've got a couple actions here like calculate, mint. Store is kind of an action, but we'll probably use a mapping for that. So in our constructor, I know that we're going to want the ball. So the constructor is going to be the function that's ran when you deploy this, right? It constructs the initial state. And because we want this to be interacting with a specific ball contract, the governance contract, the Moloch contract, we'll be passing that in. So that's a parameter. Moloch. We want to get, let's see what else we got here. An amount is calculated. We have a period. Oh. Well, I guess we could say how much too. So it wouldn't really be calculated, but maybe. Okay, so we got a uint. Thanks for riding along with me while I'm doing typos all over. Have a period length, I guess. And a uint. Uint 256. It's the default if you used uint, but it's much better to define it, and it doesn't necessarily matter. Although for gas optimization, like you could do a different size uint per period. How much? So we're going to set up some globals here, right? If we're going to be doing Moloch, then this is where we are using our interface. So we're going to say ball. Maybe this should be Moloch address. Might be more clear. Or DAO address. So we're bringing in the interface here. We're also going to need the ERC20 interface, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm going to have to install OpenZeppelin. Well, let's see. We'll get there when we get there. So, ball. So I set this like global contract level variable here. So, and I'm going to set that in here. We gave it the type of an eyeball, which we set up the interface here. The eyeball, I love that. And we're passing in the DAO address. Don't forget your semicolons. We're going to have our shares token. So this is actually going to use the ball interface. Oh, okay. This is a function to get the shares token, which you can see up here in my interface. This isn't right. Is it like just contracts? I get it from another contract here. Yeah, contracts. Hopefully I can burn through this quicker. We're 20 minutes in already. Countdown is coming. All right, so we're going to import from OpenZeppelin their ERC20 interface. It's just a basic ERC20 interface, but OpenZeppelin has it up here hosted, so we're good. In that case, I need to also define that up here. Public shares token. Okay, IERC20. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, I don't have it equals. And I have this in the wrong place. There we go. Okay, we got our ball, we have our shares token. So the shares token and the balls are actually ERC20s now, right? So I'm just gonna ping the ball contract, get the address for the shares token for it, and bring it in for this interface. And this is all happens when we deploy it, so the DAO must already exist for us to deploy this contract. Now we had our period length, which, this is where we can do something like this so that we know that it's internal. And then in that case, I gotta add this here. That's what the underscores are sometimes. Sometimes people use them in all different ways, and I fuck it up all the time too. So
underscore in the wrong place on the unit 256.
oh, thank you. I think my screens are screwing me up, so I can't use my mouse.
You also
so period
deleted
length.
it. You just deleted a N.
Oh, thank you.
Or,
I didn't do shit there, huh? That too. Thank
too,
you. Yeah. And per period equals per period. Yay, constructor. Seems dumb, but it's true. Oh, I better call these public. Can't do that anymore. I used to default to public, and a lot of people got in trouble for that, but I'm still used to it, I guess. Okay, so now our claim function. So, you know what we're missing is a way to record claims. So we should start with that, which would be a mapping and address to uint. Let's go through 256 of them. So a mapping is kind of like, basically you can like store an address and link it to a uint. If you put any address into the mapping, any address, it's going to return 0 because it's like every single thing that could ever exist exists in this mapping. But if you set a mapping like an address of my address or the message sender to some number, when you check in the claims again later, it'll show you that uint. So it's a nice kind of storage pattern. It's super efficient, better than like an array or something like that. So now our simple, oh, well, let's see, we got function to calculate. We don't really need that because we're kind of passing in the per period, but maybe someone could extend this someday to make some abstracts and we could have a more advanced thing happening. Another thing we would probably want for that Sybil resistance is some like require. You could gate it around someone holding the NFT, or you could do a lot of different gatings. Maybe they're already a DAO member, and that's only so the DAO would like issue a thumbs up that they're a member. They get some tokens. Not this, they'd have to be non-transferable for this to work, and then they would be unlocked to do the daily claim. But we also have like a mint function. Oh, and these are internal, I guess. That's going to mint our shares. Just private for now. So those are our kind of, we're getting our pseudocode stuff here. Oh, let's add our require. So require is a kind of like a check used in Solidity.
Nice. I will inform him that he was rogued because he doesn't seem to know when it happens.
I remember we were talking about, someone said they heard me anyways on this. So we were on the constructor. I brought in the eyeball interface, and I brought in the Open Zeppelin ERC20 interface. I'm defining some public variables here. And this is a good way to do a code walkthrough. Code along, I can just undo my undos. So we put in here, this is where I messed up the, okay. Now we're setting our globals in our constructor. Then I'm building some global parameters here. They got to be public. They don't have to be public really for this, but it's going to help people out a lot. And this is where I started making my mapping for claims, because we needed a way to record claims, because I'm going down into the claims function now. So basically a mapping, everyone's still there?
Hell yeah.
All right. A mapping is an efficient kind of way to do storage. It's better than an array. You can kind of think of a mapping as like every single address exists in this mapping in the entire universe. They're all going to return 0 though, until you set one of them, and then you can go back and look at what you set it at. So really efficient. This isn't great for like iterating through or doing anything like that, but we don't need to iterate through this, so it's fine. I'm living in the danger zone right now because I have an undo buffer of like 35 changes, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so now I'm going through my pseudocode here, and I'm like picking up my functions. I got a calculate function and a mint function. These can actually be private. They need to be private. We don't want anyone calling this. Claims is public though, because that's the one we want people to call. So now we're going to do the require. Our require in Solidity is like a check. Basically, it checks if something's true. If it's not, it reverts. When it reverts, it returns any unused gas to the user, and it'll give them an error message. So what we're doing here is we're checking the current time, block.timestamp, minus the whatever their last claim was. We're going to check against the claims mapping, and that should be greater than or equal to the period length. It should be equal to, I guess it's 1 second, so it's probably doesn't matter too much, but this doesn't cover everything, right? Because there's also people who are claiming for the very first time. They don't have a record here. So that's where we're going to put in claim equals 0. So that means they've never claimed before. They're claiming for the first time. And now we're going to store when they claimed it. So then we put in our message here. Can only claim once per period. And boom, I linted it. This would also be a good place to put in a require for, if you wanted to gate this a little bit, like they need to own some NFT or they need to already be a member of the DAO, like the DAO voted them in and now they can claim their daily rewards. You could do other kind of Sybil defenses here or Sybil resistance things here, but we're not going to do any of that. This will be totally up to the people to party with. All right, so now we want to calculate the amount. So we're going to call our calculate function down there. And it returns a uint. So that's going to be our amount. I just put these into their own functions because it seems like, I don't know, maybe make them abstract or something in the future. Okay, and then I put these little underscores before the name again, because they're private functions. Another pattern, you don't have to, it seems like people do that sometimes. Okay, now we have our mint tokens function. This is where all the good stuff is going to happen. We're actually interacting with as a shaman, but we're passing in address, which is message sender. That's the person signing and running the claim function, and the amount that we've calculated. So an address and a uint. Now we want to store this, right? So we're storing it in the claims mapping at that message sender address. We're going to add the current time right now. So now they're no longer going to fit into this place. They're going to be into this place. And then we would emit event. So maybe we'll do that in a little bit, and we'll get into the juicy part. All right, so this is, we're interacting with the ball. We have our interface here to show we have the mint shares and mint loot. There's also burn shares, burn loot, but we're just going to mint some shares here. The mint shares takes an array of receivers. So an array of addresses and an array of, I don't think we need this call data in an interface, but it's here, an array of uints. So Solidity, like you would think that if you used a JavaScript, you could just go like this and that'd be super nice. Here's your array and you have your 2 in here and now it's fine. But Solidity doesn't like that. You have to define an array of length 1 and then assign that to that index slot. The reason mint shares takes multiple is it's like a linked list. You could have a list of receivers that you want to mint shares for 30 people and you want 30 different amounts. So those usually would take an array. Our mint tokens function just takes a single parameter, and so that's why we're creating these little temporary arrays to pass into mint shares. Well, and that's it. So now I think we're back at oh no. See, living in the danger zone. I can't make any edits when I have a huge buffer there. So we're starting here from scratch. And you guys are still here, so that's good. So what are we going to do in calculate? Probably nothing. I think we already get per period, so let's just return per period. We set it in the constructor. If you wanted to get fancy, we could have like created an owner for this contract. The DAO could modify different things, change the per period. Maybe you want to put the calculate on some kind of time bound thing where the closer that they claim to their period ending, it's higher and it like becomes less. I don't know, but we're just going to return a straight up amount. Well, I think this is all we need. Oh, our event. So events are very nice to put in because people can understand what's going on. So let's put in an event here. Oh, it needs to be in the contract. Claim. We'll take an address and a time. Timestamp. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, huh? Anyone see what I'm doing wrong here? UN 256 address claims event. Huh, it fixed itself. So just my slow interpreter. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Everyone asleep yet? Cool. Well, we have a smart contract here. Let me rename this. Now, we're not getting any errors here from our linter, but we better compile it to make sure I didn't screw up something else, which I'm sure I did. I always have something I gotta fix after that. NPX hard hat compile. Hard hat. Oh, so I have a couple dependencies. Why don't you have those already? Oh, I need ethers. Type chain coverage. Really? I need all this crap? Okay. I guess we can hang out. Oh, and see how long this takes. Anyone have any questions so far? And is this just way too verbose?
No, this is great.
I figure because we're recording this, I mean, most people in this room are probably fine with everything, but it's kind of fun just to see how to do it from scratch. And we had an hour, but we only have 10 minutes left. So we may need to go over into Remix so we can deploy this. The other thing I need is... Yeah, because if I wanted to write the deploy script, it's actually really easy and use something really cool in Hard Hat, which is to verify. Ah, fuck. Not gonna have enough time. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll jump back over to my helper, which is a little different than this, but pretty much the same. But let's see if my compile works now. Oh, okay. So when you bring in the Open Zeppelin libraries, you need to also require it in the config. So the hard hat config file is kind of where you store all the little bits, things about contracts, things about the different networks, things about all the stuff. And so we'll see if this is enough. I'm gonna have to bring in ethers and everything else. We could also write some tests in hard hat. Well, I don't want to get into a bunch of tooling issues. Hard
I
hat
think
upgrades.
it's large contracts in your hard hat config.
It's what?
It's Open Zeppelin slash contracts, I think, right?
Oh yeah. Yep. Thank you. I copied it from the internets. Good catch. 1 point for you, but now it's still not gonna like my config for some reason. Okay, so we're gonna switch. I'll share this repo. Basically the same thing. We can look at our config here. So we compiled good. It's basically the same. I think we might have compiled fine on that other one too. Come on, computer. So this config file is something I use a lot more. It has all my settings, all the different block explorers and gas settings. I like pull in Etherscan APIs and mnemonics and all those things. I have like custom chains for verification and some optimizer setups and all these things. And then I bring in a bunch of helpers. Hard hat has so many cool helpers, like to verify, to see how much gas you're using, check your test coverage, all these things. So in our deploy script, it's basically just a JavaScript function that we run. Here is going to be our constructor parameters. They're all pretty simple. So let me go and summon a DAO real quick. Oh. And we're going to be on XDAI. Gnosis chain. Let's call it daily DAO and the daily token or DLY token. Can leave the rest here. Let's do it pretty fast for now. We can speed it up. Oh, the reason we want to do it fast is because I want to bring on the shaman after I get the address. We can leave all that. And I'll make me an initial shareholder Got 7 minutes. Let's do this. Come on, MetaMask. And we good. So if I actually had like predetermined the shaman's address, or had a shaman that you could set the ball address after this, we could be summoning this DAO with the shaman already ready, but we're just gonna summon the DAO for now. Here we go. Can you guys still hear me? Are we still connected?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you make a Codelon more exciting? I guess you screw up more, and I don't know. All right. So we're gonna do a little live demo too. And what's up? Yeah. Where were we? Down here. Okay, so this is my deploy script. I'm gonna update the Moloch address. 77, that's pretty cool. 77D. On this one, I actually had a flag to say if we want to do shares or loot. And so we're gonna do shares. This, I guess I could use the ethers function here, would be better, but let's do 10 shares per period. And I don't want to do 10 minutes. Let's do 1 day, which, how many seconds are in a day? 60 seconds in an hour. Oh, wait, 60 seconds in a minute. 60 minutes in an hour. Okay. There we go. Day in secs. And that's it. So now basically you have this get contracts factory, and then deploy, you pass in the parameters, and it's deployed. So we'll try it out. And we'll see how long this takes, and if Gnosis chain is going to be friendly right now. Right now it's using a mnemonic that I already set up, and hopefully didn't ever share on this, but it's a COOE address, and we're deployed. So now we got our shaman address. Let's go back over to our DAO. And I'm going to have a little proposal to enable the shaman. Advanced add shaman daily token claimer or something. Did anyone see any like huge bugs in this? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Shaman address. Okay, it's a manager. So we gotta have at least the manager permissions. And we're gonna submit this proposal. I'm gonna verify the contract, and then you guys, I'll share it. You guys can go claim your 10 shares, and you could break the DAO, I guess, if you wanted, or we could fix the proposal lengths to maybe a little longer. You guys are still with me?
Yeah, we're here.
Yep.
All right, gonna vote yes. We get a little note here, Shaman proposal, better be careful. I think that's important because you don't want any old shaman getting on here. I haven't verified this yet, so we might get some weird behavior. So let me go back here. And the verify function, this is another hard hat plugin, is really cool. We can put in the contract we want to verify. Then we put on our parameters after that, which I changed this one. Ah, shit. How many seconds is in a day? What would my math equal? Does anyone want to do that, or does anyone know? 60 times 60 times 24. Is that even right? Who knows?
Yeah, 60 minutes, 60 seconds, 24 or 24 hours.
86,400.
Okay.
86,400 is 60 times 60 times 24.
Okay. 86,400. All right. Verify this bad boy. No longer do we have to deal with the annoying block explorers, but Gnosis Chain is fun because it has 2 block explorers now, and we probably would have to verify it on both, and that would be some of our config. We're out of time, but let me share this link once we're done, and we can hang out for another 5 minutes if you guys don't mind. Otherwise, come back and just check out the link, and we'll see if it actually works. Everyone should be able to claim 10 shares. Already verified. Well, that may be because I deployed it already and it saw the exact same block scat, or is it Gnosis scan? We'll see. How was my config? It probably told me in that message too. Is it going to be nice to us? Doesn't look like it. That is definitely not right. Because I was, okay. That is our share, or that's our DAO contract, I guess. Here we go. Put this in chat. And if you go to the screen, on the right tab, we should have a claim button. So what we're going to do the rest of the week, or what Jord is going to do, is just build a whole app around this claim button. Super simple, but also it'll show how our composable components can work together, how you can use just like create React app and create an app that's going to interact with the DAO, and you don't need to do too much more than that. Even with just this like simple functionality, this is really how blockchain apps do well, is when it's just super, super simple, right? So I just did the claim function. If I look at members, we'll see, I should have 11 shares now, I guess. Oh, no, because it's still running.
So how do you click when we click this block scout link? What was the next step?
Go to write contract. It's this tab here.
Okay.
And then number 1 claim.
I see it.
And that should be enough, although it may take a second for the subgraph to catch it. And did we... Oh, hold on. Don't do it yet because I haven't executed this. It's not going to work.
Shit. Just confirmed.
It's okay. It's...
And he's gone.
I'm back. Sorry, died again. Edge cases are the bane of our lives as smart contractor developers. If you already ran the claim function, then you won't be able to claim for another day. So sorry. But now that I've executed this shaman should be, let's see, would that be in settings? Yeah, we got a shaman here. If anyone hasn't run the claim function yet, try it now. Did everyone already do it, or 5 minutes over? We can do
Just try
this.
with a different wallet.
Yep, and that's another fun thing about this. There's absolutely no civil defense. So I'll try with a different wallet too. Let's see if it can work. Oh yeah. All right. Trying from a different wallet. I think if I tried from my other one, it would fail because we have the require statement. What we should have done on our mint token function was probably add a require statement there that it was successful. And I'll have to check if mint tokens actually returns a true or false from the ball contract.
I get a time back
Now,
from the mapping in the contract.
What's that?
So at least that's working. I get a time back when I read from my address in the claims map or the mapping.
What time?
The time the
time that you claimed. Okay.
Yeah.
So it might take a second for the subgraph to catch this. Did I mess something else here up? What are we, 77? Oh, what contract did I? Okay, well, sorry, I screwed this up somewhere. So in the constructor, I passed the wrong address. So, if you guys want to hang on, I'm going to fix this real quick. Otherwise, I'll post the fix. How did that happen? Let's look at our... $77. Maybe I didn't save it. But how was I able to oh. Maybe that's why we got that weird message. Deploy example. Deploy example. Well, we get another try. So I guess I could have fixed that contract bug too. Too late for that. Now what am I going to verify? This. And that goes... How did that work? What the fuck? Now I'm being retarded. So we have some shaman that I don't even know what that one is. One of the things with shamans is you could really fuck shit up.
Speaking of fuck shit up and kind of slightly off topic, would it fuck shit up to summon a DAO from a multisig wallet?
No, not at all. And actually that's, if you have a current multisig, you could summon a DAO into it as a module from the multisig wallet. You can also, multisig could be, everything is on chain. So a multisig could be a member, a multisig can be a shaman, a multisig could do any of those things. A multisig as a shaman is kind of an interesting and scary potential. It's better than an EOA, but it also could work as your like delegated
Ruling
escape
house.
hatch.
Yeah. Escape hatch.
One thing, if you deploy the contract, like the Zodiac module, into a current safe, you're going to still have the signers on the safe.
Okay.
Oh shit. No. Switch. Come on, MetaMask. 1 minute. Oh, come on, 51 seconds. I was on a different account. And we have super fast voting periods here. When I'm sharing screen, MetaMask is even slower than normal. Okay, we got the yes in. We got our verified contract here. Let me execute this and then I'll share it over. No ABI found. I think that's because it hasn't been verified yet. Now another minute for this. Let's see if we're actually verified and we have the right Moloch address. Yes, it looks right. So hold off for a few seconds to do the claim here till I can execute. We got 50 seconds left. And we're 15 minutes over. This may be a example of things to come, Jord. An hour is not a lot of time to code something up.
No.
And be talking while you're doing it and fucking with Discord.
2 is sort of the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. So this action, what would it be doing? It should be doing set Set shaman? Set shaman. Is this DAO not verified? Maybe that's our problem. It should be verified because it. No. Why?
Factory verified?
I bet it's verified on Gnosis, but not here. Okay, well, something else for me to look into on Gnosis chain. That's pretty important. Let's go ahead and execute this one. Thank you guys for hanging out and working through. This is the high pressure part. And where it went off the rails, I guess, once I couldn't compile on my MPX. I should have just stuck in my test repo. Execution success. Now let's try to go over to write contract. Come on. Are you guys still there?
I'm here.
Okay. Got one person. Now we got a few.
Are we holding off on click and write?
No, let's try it. Let me know when someone goes through it.
Sweet. It's taking a minute. Up there you go. Confirm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, look, it minted 10 tokens. All right. It's working. We got 3 claims. So yeah, we'll go ahead and I guess if you try to claim again, it should revert. We got the timing right.
We should claim again right now?
Gotta make sure.
Well, if you try to do it again,
Okay.
yeah, it should fail. It does fail? Okay. So
Yeah.
super simple example, but it shows kind of the way the interface and shamans work. We have those mint shares, mint loot tokens. You could like technically even wrap that into like a little minter function that just used mint and burn. If you wanted to be like compose with something else. Yeah, so we're not able to do it. It's going to fail. Okay, cool. If you simulated it, it would give you your require error. If we look at our member list, we can see the people that have claimed. And what an app will be, it'll like bring in some of our components into probably a create React app or a Next or something, and just have a big button that says claim. And we're good to go. So any other questions, y'all? Was that helpful at all? Does it demystify a shaman a little? Yeah, so
So by going through that claim, it should have added us to a DAO, to the daily DAO.
yeah, you should be now in this. Oh,
'Cause
let me share the
like-
DAO too.
When I'm looking at like my hub, it's not showing up there yet. Is that just like a UI lag thing, or?
Oh,
So the
Let me try
V3
my hub.
DAO
Oh,
starts
so
up on V2 Hub.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
oh yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be here.
The DAO is called Streak.
No, it's called Daily DAO.
Yeah, I'm in Daily DAO.
Okay. And I just posted that in chat too. It looks like we got 3 claimers. Three token holders. And cool. If you guys see any issues with the contract, if you've got any questions or whatever, hit me up. And sorry, we went 20 minutes over. I guess I have another meeting too I'm supposed to be in. So, all right, guys. Cheers. Thank you. Hit me up with any questions or leave them in chat.